Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Malcolm Crawford from the Storm Podcast, and today I'm here with a Spider-Man No Way Home review. Let's get into it.
I'm not gonna get it down the street. You said you had a sleep. My life is such a movie, baby. This is just a preview. I know you say you love me, but I don't think I believe you.
Yo, before we get into the actual review, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment letting me know what you guys think the movie is in a 1 through 10. Alright, so let's get into it. My bad if I seem a little extra excited than normal. I just watched the new Spider-Man No Way Home. And when I tell y'all, this is one of the best Marvel movies to date, there's no exaggeration here. And look, if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to leave because there's going to be spoilers coming because I need to talk about this movie. This shit was fucking fantastic, bro. Like, I can't even... Let's get into it. Starting from the top of the movie, seeing how much Peter's life has changed since Mysterio revealed that he was Peter Parker was insane, bro. The world went nuts. And this is what me and my homies were trying to understand in the theater. There are other superheroes in this world, so why was everybody treating it like it was such a big thing? We get it. He murdered Mysterio. But I feel like a lot of superheroes have done a lot worse than that and have gotten a lot less publicity for it. But the world went crazy, and I liked it. I thought it was really cool seeing how different his life was, how much his life was impacted, how much Mary Jane or Michelle Jones, Ned, Aunt May, Happy, seeing how all of their lives were impacted by this was a really interesting thing to be able to witness, because I feel like we haven't got a chance to see this version of Spider-Man or any version of Spider-Man really get super publicized in the cinematic universe. So that was really cool to see how the differences were made. And yo, we got to see a Daredevil cameo. That was pretty awesome. I didn't even know that he was technically a part of the MCU. You guys let me know if this was his intro or if the Daredevil TV show counted toward this. I haven't watched the Daredevil TV show. So let me know if that's a part of the MCU, and I need to watch that now, because if he's going to be a part of the MCU, I need to watch it. I got to stay up to date. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit. So then they all get rejected from college, allegedly. I still don't believe they all got rejected. I think that Michelle got in and she lied and said she didn't, so she could stay with Peter and Ned. What do you guys think? Because like the way she was looking at the letter, she was looking at them to see if they were going to say the same thing, you feel me? So I feel like she got in, but whatever. We never actually found out about that. But once that happened, Peter decided to go to Doctor Strange, was like, hey, bro, I need some help. Help me fix this shit. Sidebar on that, I thought it was cool as fuck that Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme now. Wong done had a come up, bro. That man went from librarian to Sorcerer Supreme. Come on, bro. You can't tell me that that's not a come up. Shout out Wong, bro. That's the man's. So, Doctor Strange is like, hey, bro, I'm going to do my best to help you. I believe that that was the most irresponsible thing he could have fucking done. Once again, going back to what I said earlier, tons of superheroes have their identities revealed, bro. Damn near all of them. Everybody knew who Iron Man was. Everybody knew who Steve Rogers was. Hawkeye, we all know him. Bruce Banner. Even Doctor Strange, his secret identity is out. So I feel like it was crazy for Doctor Strange to use this spell, because it really wasn't affecting his life. It was affecting Spider-Man's life a lot, but it wasn't earth-shattering. I think that was irresponsible. That's just me. I've seen people saying that they believe that was Mephisto doing it and not actually Doctor Strange. I think it was Doctor Strange, and I just think Doctor Strange is irresponsible as fuck. He's always been irresponsible and immature, and that's what he was doing. He's using this spell, and Peter just keeps fucking this shit up, bro. Like, I'm taken aback. Like, I feel like if he told you, bro, that stop fucking with the spell because you gonna ruin some stuff, stop fucking with the spell. It's not that hard, bro. How hard would it have been for you to tell MJ again, tell Ned again, and tell Aunt May again? What would that have been? An hour-long conversation each? Ned would have been excited in the first 15 minutes. Like, it's really not that difficult, but whatever. He did it. I feel like he could have not done it, but cool. Spell goes rampant. Doctor Strange contains it in his cool-ass magic way, contains the shit, and Spider-Man moves on. We get to the bridge where he's trying to talk to this lady. And in my opinion, this may go down in history as one of the most iconic movie scenes to date. When Doc Ock pulls up on that fucking bridge, bro. We knew Doc Ock was gonna be in the movie, but he pulled up so goddamn smooth, bro. That shit was raw as fuck. They get to fighting and he snatches the nanotech. It kind of shows, it kind of goes back into the other Spider-Man universe and shows just how advanced Doc Ock was compared to everybody else. Like, the fact that his tentacles were able to merge with the nanotech that easily showed just how ahead of time that he was, because Doc Ock was doing all this shit back in, I want to say 2002. And in 2002, Doc Ock already had the interface set up to where he'd be able to connect with some nanotech. And not only that, but knew what nanotech was upon seeing it. Like, he looked at it and was like, ooh, nice nanotech, Peter. I found it odd that Doc Ock wasn't more confused, like how Peter switched suits so fast and got some nanotech in 15 minutes in Doc Ock's mind, but whatever. I thought that was really cool. Then we get to see Green Goblin. We'll talk about Green Goblin in a second. And then fight happens and Peter gets taken back. All that shit. Cool. And this is where the movie really picked up for me, where Doctor Strange explains that the multiverse has been opened and all of these villains, not just villains, all of these people who know who Spider-Man is are going to be coming into this world. This is when the movie went from good, actually it was better than good, but this is where the movie went from really good to fucking amazing, bro. Because when they started tracking down these villains one by one, this shit started getting so lit, bro. I fucking loved it. Spider-Man goes to track down Electro. I think he thought he was tracking down Green Goblin, but he goes to track down Electro and finds him. Look, don't get me wrong, guys. I love Ned and I love Michelle. I think they're both really fucking cool, but I did find it kind of annoying how involved they were into the Spider-Man ordeal. I don't feel like they needed to be that into it. Maybe Ned because he has skills that can help Spider-Man. Michelle wasn't doing anything. They did not need to be strapped to his chest on a FaceTime call. I thought that shit was stupid as fuck. But it was a little cool because it does kind of remind you that Peter is still a kid and he still does do kid shit. Like strap a goddamn FaceTime call to his chest with Michelle and Ned on it, you know? So I thought it was kind of annoying, but I do understand it, and it does kind of like put a little bit more into it. And let's talk about that suit. It was his regular suit flipped inside out, but that shit looked cool as fuck. I think he needs to get himself a colorway with that black and orange or yellow or whatever the fuck it was. That shit was dope as fuck. Loved it. Pulls up on Electro, puts Electro in the little pod or whatever. Sandman gets put in the pod. And then we get to the Green Goblin, who was not captured, but he actually gave himself up. Green Goblin, for those who don't know, the Goblin serum that's in him makes him go really, really fucking crazy. But he switches back and forth. So sometimes he's Norman Osborn, and sometimes he's Green Goblin. So while he was Norman Osborn, he was sitting there, and he was like, fuck, I need to figure out what to do because I don't want to hurt anybody else. Peter and Aunt May didn't have the background knowledge of what Goblin was on before, because Goblin ran up on Aunt May vicious last time. He pulled up on her in the hospital on the little glider with the yellow eyes, had Aunt May shook. But they didn't notice, so they trusted the man. The whole time I was sitting there like, please don't trust this dude. Don't trust him. But they trusted him, and we all know where that ended up. We'll talk about it later. So Green Goblin gets put in the shit. They find him, put him in the pod. Cool. Doctor Strange is like, hey, bro, I understand that we don't want them to die, but they gonna have to die anyway. That's the fate, and we not changing it. Sorry, it's over with for them. It is what it is. In front of the goddamn villains. That was the dumbest shit ever, bro. Why would you tell them that they're going to be sent to their doom in front of them, in front of these powerful ass villains, bro? Of course they not gonna want to die. That's gonna make them fucking mad. They did it anyway. I feel like that was dumb on Doctor Strange's part. And Peter made the decision that, nah, we not going to kill him. Is that the same decision I would have made? Hell no. But it was the right decision, though. So I'm not mad at Peter. I think he probably could have tried a little bit harder to convince Doctor Strange, but we all know Doctor Strange. He's stubborn and he wasn't changing his mind. So they get to throwing down in one of the coolest hero versus hero fights that we've seen in the Marvel Universe to date. Not the coolest. I still love seeing Black Panther in Civil War, but one of the coolest. Spider-Man and Strange going at it was so fucking cool because their abilities kind of go directly against each other. Because Spider-Man is all about the agility and the trickery and all that, and Doctor Strange is about trickery and teleportation, and the spider sense kind of combats that, like that element of mystery and tricking you. Spider sense kind of gets past all that shit. But Spider-Man is also super agile. Doctor Strange just made some fucking portals and now he can't go anywhere. So it's really cool to see them like clash and go up against each other, especially because neither of them really wanted to do it. They were both doing it because they were doing what they thought was right. So they get away and they decide, hey, let's fix these guys. We can come up with this shit. We all know how, like, we can figure this out. Spider-Man's smart. They're all on board for it, except for Lizard. I was very confused by his motives throughout the entire movie because I get it. Doc Ock was crazy and he didn't want to do it because he felt he didn't need to be fixed. Norman Osborn did want to be fixed. Electro was kind of on the fence. And Sandman, I was confused by his morals too because he didn't give a fuck. He just wanted to go home and fixing them was the fastest way to get him home. I feel him. So he was like, fuck it, we going along with this shit. So they're trying to fix him, and they fix Doc Ock, which I think was probably the best one to go with first because it was the easiest one to fix. And Doc Ock is the most helpful because he understands all this shit. Doc Ock is debatably the smartest out of all of them. You can make an argument that Norman Osborn is up there too, but I think Doc Ock is the smartest. So Doc Ock gets fixed. And we find out, well, we've known this the entire time, that he was a good guy the entire time, and it was just the chip in his neck that got burned out, and that's why he was acting like that. He didn't actually want to be a dickhead, but he ended up being a dickhead just off of the craziness in his mind. All of them were just crazy in their minds. Green Goblin turns into Goblin and starts fucking Peter up. Yo. When Goblin turned into Evil Goblin and he gave that speech, dude, that acting was some of the best movie acting I have ever seen. I got chills when Goblin was giving his speech. Bro, the facial expressions, the voice, everything he did was so spot on and so perfect. That was some of the best acting I've seen in the MCU or any movie to date. Willem Dafoe is one of the most amazing actors for that scene alone. You know he didn't want them MCU checks to stop. He decided he was going to act his ass off so them checks could keep coming, bro. He wanted to come back. That shit was insane. Bro, I'm a Spider-Man fan through and through. I love Spider-Man, but I can't lie like I wasn't excited to see Green Goblin whoop his ass. I forgot just how strong Green Goblin is himself, bro. Like, he is a strong ass, like, he has super strength for real. He was tiger bombing him through floors, punching him through walls. Then Lizard starts going rampant. Oh, and we got to talk about Jonah Jameson. Jameson has always hated Spider-Man. We all know that. I feel like in this version, he was just spiteful, bro. Jameson was on some different shit. He was really hating Spider-Man. We all know, deep down, he just wants to be Spider-Man. He mad as fuck that he didn't get bit by that spider, bro. Jameson wants to be Spider-Man so bad. He's kind of like Flash, where he hates on him, but he loves him so much, bro. He loves Spider-Man more than anybody else, and he just wants Spider-Man to give him the time of day. It's like a little schoolyard crush that Jameson has. Look, man, I love Aunt May. I think this version of Aunt May is probably one of the coolest because she is the most involved in Peter's life. But yo, That was some dumbass shit how she was sticking around, bro. She should have fucking dipped. Hey, any of you watchers, I need y'all to hear this and hear me good. If you are ever in a situation where you are around a superhero fighting and you do not have powers, and that said superhero tells you to fucking leave, please, for the love of God, just leave. Never once has the civilian walked out alive, bro. It happened to Gwen Stacy. It happened to Aunt May. It happens to everybody. Fucking go away. If the superhero tells you to leave, you leave. You don't have powers. Get the fuck out, please. But Aunt May got cracked with that glider, bro. And I thought it was over. Once she got hit with that glider, I thought it was cooked for Aunt May. But then Goblin ended up dipping, bro. Like, he bounced. He blew everything up on the way out, but he bounced. And Aunt May seemed like she was good. And I was like, oh, shit. She got cracked with the glider and didn't die. Let's go. I was hyped as fuck. But when she started to actually die, guys, I got so fucking sad, bro. I did not know how much that death was going to affect me. Like, the Tony Stark death fucked me up. I was kind of expecting a little bit, and it was also in a righteous way, so it was kind of a happy moment. It was very sad when Tony died, but it was happy a little bit. This Aunt May death fucked me up, bro. Like, I was actually tearing up, and I didn't even know I liked Aunt May that much, bro. Like, this was a very, very sad death, and the acting was crazy. When Peter was crying over Aunt May's body, I was sitting there so depressed and so dejected. Like, that was, wow. That shit was very, very, very heavy, and I commend them for doing such an acting job. Tom Holland is always really good at portraying that type of sadness. I feel like he did a really good job of that when Tony died. He did a really good job of that when he was about to get blipped away. All of that shit was insane. Rightfully so. Peter was devastated. Of course I would be. I was devastated. So I understand why Peter was so sad about it and why he disappeared and didn't really want to have conversations with MJ or Ned or any of them. He just kind of disappeared. I feel like it was weird that MJ didn't hit the button. She said if she didn't hear back from him, she was going to hit the button. She didn't hear back from him and she didn't hit the button, but whatever. Ned. I fucked with Ned using magic. I like Ned. I want him to get a bigger part. I think it was cool as fuck that he was using that magic. He opened up the portals, and he opened up the portal. And immediately, they only showed it for a quick second when the portal opened. Immediately, I saw the eyes, and I knew that that was Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. And he pulled up clean, bro. Mind blown. We all knew that the Spider-Men were going to be in this movie, but we weren't positive that they were all going to be here. And seeing him was like, yo, it's lit. Oh, my mama. It was turned seeing him come through that portal and watching his conversation with MJ and her trying to figure out if she can trust him. And he sticks on the wall and Nesmo's like, hey, get the spider web. I thought that all that shit was hilarious and cool and awesome. And then the man, the myth, the legend, Tobey Maguire gets called into the scene, man. I almost shed a tear. That's my childhood right there. The first 3 Spider-Man movies were some of the first superhero movies I ever watched in my life. So seeing Tobey Maguire pull up was so fucking dope. He was looking a little old, but whatever. I fucked with it so heavy, man. I thought that shit was so cool that he was there. Him and Andrew Garfield had a little jump back and forth web shooting match. I feel like they missed the opportunity to do a Spider-Man pointing at each other meme. But either way, I was so excited to see them both there. That shit was so cool. They meet up with Tom Holland. They explain like, hey, bro, we get it. We've all lost our Aunt Mays and Uncle Bens. Like, it is devastating. It happens, and we're here for you. The Spider-Man Brotherhood in this movie was one of the coolest things because Peter, like Tom Holland's Peter, has met tons of superheroes. He has tons of superheroes he can relate with, and he knows all their stories, you know, but it hits a little different meeting other versions of yourself who can relate to you exactly, and they know exactly what you're going through because they've been through the exact same thing. Like, they lost Uncle Ben. They lost Aunt May. Even MJ or Gwen Stacy, but his MJ got lost. So he could really relate to them in a different type of way. And they helped pick him back up when he was down and it was time to get to action. And seeing all three of them interact together, even on their genius shit when they were in that school lab. One had a plan for how to fix Green Goblin. One had a plan for how to fix Lizard. They made up a plan how to fix Sandman. They already had one for Electro. It was super cool seeing them all just interact together and talk together. When Ned found out that Harry died in his arms after trying to kill him, Ned was shook, bro. He was like, fuck. I'm gonna fuck around and try to kill Peter. He was so excited when he told him, like, hey, bro, I'm not gonna kill you, I promise you. Ned's face was so excited, bro. That shit was so cool to watch. And I was waiting for this moment. So I wanted them to talk about Peter's organic webs so bad, bro. Like how his webs come from his wrist and not the web shooters. That shit was so hilarious, bro, because that's not how it's supposed to be, and it is weird. And I like how they acknowledged how it was weird, and they were fascinated by it and asking questions. That I thought that shit was hilarious. That was really, really cool to me. Great addition into the movie. I like how they made it kind of realistic how their interactions would be if they actually met in real life. I feel like this was pretty realistic to how they would actually act because they're all silly, they're all goofy, they're all Spider-Man, and they all just blended together so well. When they were up on top of the Statue of Liberty, just having conversations, Toby was telling him like, hey, you're amazing, bro. Like, you're amazing. And then they spent some time talking about the webs and all that stuff. I honestly could have watched an entire movie of just them up there kicking it. I hope that Marvel has some footage of that to release later on Disney Plus or whatever, of just them hanging out and talking, because I feel like that would be really, really cool to see. One thing that I wanted to see when they were up on top of the Statue of Liberty and they were all talking about the organic webs and all that, I wanted them to explain to Tom Holland's Spider-Man that it is called a Spidey sense, not a Peter tingle. I needed them to explain that. I thought that would have been such a cool moment for them to have that and like talk about it, like, why would you call it a Peter tingle? I thought that would have been so cool, but we didn't get that. It is what it is, but I think that that would have been a dope movie, a dope part of the movie that they missed out on. Now we get to the final fight. I was really confused by 1, Lizard's motives, and 2, Sandman's motives. Sandman, look, bro, I know you want to go back to your family, but I don't feel like fighting the Peters was the way to do that. I feel like he could have just teamed up with them and got that shit over with and got sent home. Would have made a lot more fucking sense. Lizard, I can't even begin to tell you his motives. Before, his goal was to evolve the whole city and turn them all into lizards. He wasn't trying to do that. My man's just wanted problems. Like, he just pulled up and wanted smoke. It was nothing more, nothing less. I get it. Electro was on his, hey, bro, I was a loser. I got some new power. I got everything I need in this world. I'm not trying to die. So let me destroy that box and we gonna keep it moving. But the final fight was amazing. Watching all the Spider-Men fight and fly together, like, not fly, but, fight and swing together was awesome, bro. Like, their chemistry, because they're the same person. So they have good chemistry once they learn how to communicate. They were talking and then they got it popping all together. That shit was so raw, watching them fly together. And watching them talk to their villains as they cured them was a really cool moment. Seeing Andrew Garfield sit and talk to Max or Electro about how he's not going to be a loser, how he's not a loser, and everything's going to be okay. Flint Marko, they're like, hey, bro, don't worry, we're going to get you home. Like, it's all good. They fixed the Lizard. The Lizard didn't even talk. He was just back to normal and happy about it, I guess. Fuck Lizard. And then Green Goblin pulled up, man, and he destroyed the box. He was on go time, bro. This was the best acting. I don't know if it was just me. I feel like Goblin was way scarier without his fucking mask, bro. Without his mask, Goblin was on some different shit, bro. And he was up there going crazy. And watching Peter become unhinged, watching Tom Holland's Peter become unhinged and fighting Goblin was different because we all know Spider-Man's strong as fuck, but he has to pull his punches so he doesn't accidentally kill people. We were watching him swing with his full force for some of those blows. When he jumped and he went to strike Goblin from above and he missed and like punched through the metal of the shield. He was trying to kill him. He was not for games. He was straight swinging for blood, bro. And watching him become unhinged, because Tom Holland is the happiest, silliest kid version of Spider-Man that we have from the three of them, and seeing him go into this deep, dark place was chilling, bro. Like, I had chills watching that shit. He was going crazy, and it was awesome. And the fact that the other Spider-Man came and kind of helped him down from that, because they've all been through that rage of losing someone they love and wanting to kill and get that revenge and knowing that that's not the way. They stopped him and were able to help him with that, and I think he was really grateful for it. And they healed Green Goblin, and every, happy ending to the story until the multiverse started to become unfolded and unraveled, and they had to figure out what to do. And Peter says, hey man, just make everybody forget me. It's cool. That's sacrifice. Like, that's the sacrifice that a hero has to make. Peter's problems, not Peter's problems, but a lot of Peter's problems in this movie kind of came from selfishness of wanting to fix everything and live this double life. And he wasn't doing this now. Like, he wanted to be selfless and he wanted to fix the problems that he solved. And he was willing to give up all of these people knowing him for it. And I respect it. And him losing Ned and MJ, it was sad. It was really sad to watch, but I think overall, from a movie watcher standpoint, it's going to be a good thing, because we're going to get to see Peter be Spider-Man the way the other people are Spider-Man, and I think that that's going to be really, really interesting. MJ and Ned forgot him, and he made them a promise that he would come find them and be with them again, and once it came down to it, he couldn't do it. He realized, I don't know if I agree with this, but he came to the realization that their lives would be better without him, because all these things that happened, they didn't get to MIT and they got hurt, the scratch on MJ's forehead. All of that, he was like, man, they would be better off without me. So he didn't even tell them. Obviously, we know that he's probably going to end up telling them later, but that's the way it ended up going. And I thought that was crazy. Now, I do think that it's a little confusing what happened with that memory wipe spell, because don't they still have pictures of Peter like in their phones or in their house? And where did MJ think she got the scratch on her forehead from and all that? I just feel like that would have just left a lot of weird gaps in people's memories. Like, even Doctor Strange with the whole, he's been with Spider-Man plenty of times. Like, all those memories wiping would just leave a lot of weird gaps, I feel like. And I don't know what that got filled with, but it's magic. So I'm sure they have some type of reasoning for why that happened and why it was the way that it is. So, okay, I'll let that rock. But at the end, I thought it was really cool watching Peter get his own apartment. And he was broke in an apartment by himself. And he's on his own and no one really knows what Spider-Man is. And that is what Spider-Man is. And I feel like these first three Spider-Man movies, Far From Home, Homecoming, and No Way Home, were kind of like his origin story. And now he's really getting into what it means to be Spider-Man. He understands the importance of protecting his secret identity, because that's something that comic book Peter Parker does very seriously, is protect his identity. And he's on his own and he's broke. And I think that that's really the true embodiment of what Spider-Man is. And I think that they're going to really incorporate that better now than they were before into, like, all those Iron Boy Jr. jokes can get the fuck out of here. Because now Peter's on his own and he's doing shit the way that Spider-Man always has. Look, he did the upgrades to his costume just by cutting out fabric. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to have Stark's help. He's not going to have the help of Stark Industries or anybody else. He's just going to be Peter and Spider-Man on his own. And that's I feel like that's going to shut up a lot of haters. But for me, I think that this is debatably my favorite Marvel movie to date. It's definitely the most iconic. I think this movie was more iconic than, honestly, I think this is more iconic than Endgame. I know y'all gonna kill me for it, but this shit was, bro, all three Spider-Man coming together, the multiverse, Spider-Man coming into his own, like, these are iconic moments. This is the most iconic Marvel movie to date, and it's my favorite Marvel movie to date. And if you disagree, that's cool, but this shit was next level. I had so much fucking fun watching this. Great time, and I would recommend it to anybody. I'm probably going to go see this 3-4 more times. And look, I really want to talk to you guys about this shit in the comments. So please tell me what you thought in the comments. I'm ready to talk and argue and all that shit because this, oh my God, I had such a fun time watching this. And wait, before we get out of here, I got to talk about that ending credit scene. Look, the Venom one, that was cool. I didn't really care about that. I thought it was lame as fuck that they showed us a commercial at the end of the shit. Like, normally they give us something tied into the movie. It's like a little extra or a short or something. This was just a Doctor Strange commercial. Like, that was a Multiverse Madness commercial. I personally didn't like that. What did you guys think of that? I feel like it kind of went off script for what Marvel does and what we really want to see. But if you guys liked it, let me know. But I thought that was lame. But that's pretty much all I have to say on this movie. I thought it was amazing, mind-blowing. I'm going to probably go watch it more times. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you watched this far and you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please hit that button for me. It'll help me a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you guys later, and I'll make more videos later.
I'm not gonna get it done, you said you had a sweet. My life is such a movie, baby, this is just a preview. I know you say you love me, but I don't think I believe